Welcome back to the INP, the Ichi podcast. My name is NWepic, and I am joined by my host Nan Mana. And as always, we talk about anime, gaming, and whatever else that we want to talk about on our niche podcast. Today is the day that we talk about the recent news, and I guess recent being the past month, the month of June, since technically we are in the beginning of July. A lot of stuff has come out, particularly for gaming. There's been a few anime announcements, but obviously summer is when all the gaming companies decide to post all of their, plans for, I guess, the remainder of the year and into the next year. So we got a lot of exciting stuff to talk about. First, let's pour one out for E3. Rumored to be canceled for, I guess, 2024 and 2025. But, I mean, is it really a rumor at this point? E3 is kind of dead. Kind of hate to see it, but yeah. And any words? Do you want to give a eulogy for E3 before we move on?
No.
And I think that sums up the public zeitgeist on E3. So yeah, let's start with the anime and manga. Let's go ahead and get those out of the way because we don't have that many. So I'm gonna let you start with yours. Or at least one of yours.
Delayed so much that the summer season has started already.
I guess it has started. So the Dangers in My Heart, that's summer season.
It's over. That was spring.
Oh, it's over. Okay.
Well, that was season 1, but
Gotcha.
yeah, the second season's announced. It was a real surprise at how well it's done. Started out at a score of 7 on Mal, went all the way up to 8.3, and that's for Mal. That's impressive.
That is kind of impressive.
And I do recommend you watch it or read it. I know you've had your gripes about Kubo, and I'll say it has a similar premise, but it actually has like real development in like the span of a handful of episodes.
Interesting. I like that aspect, although I did pull it up and I'm looking at it and it's giving me strong Shota vibes, and I don't know how I feel about this. I guess he's just short, but
yes, it's middle school.
Well, I hope he gets a growth spurt within the span of some of these episodes.
It's got really good development, direction, personality, and I think the one underrated aspect is the music. It's made by or directed, created, composed by Kensuke Ushio, who did soundtrack for most famously what was the movie about the deaf girl?
The deaf girl. Oh, Lions was. I know what you're talking about. It's the one where the guy bullies her basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why I can't think of
the
name of. Yeah, I can't. My brain sees it. Yes, a silent voice. Yes.
Yeah, he did that, and he did Listen to Bluebird. So pretty. I don't know.
So all those very pretty looking movies. He did soundtracks
very pretty sounding too.
And
this
I can agree.
One particular scene in the season is completely carried by the music. So I'm really looking forward to the second season. I was actually turned off by it in the first 3 episodes. Like, yeah, just your typical middle school romance thing, rom-com. It's actually not a rom-com. It's romance first.
Interesting. So I guess you were part of the Mal crowd too. You were also in that sort of. You probably gave it like a 6 or a 5, and then you were like, okay, and you were like, oh yeah. And so interesting.
Yeah, I watched
check
like
it out.
2 episodes, and I was like, I got other things to watch. Then I saw the ratings just like skyrocket. It's like, oh, I'll wait till it's all over and I'll watch it all. I'm like, this is great.
Interesting. Speaking of, I guess since we're on the topic of the summer and new seasons arising, this is not for this summer, but Konosuba season 3. I'm excited. I'm so excited for which I haven't watched Megami yet, or this beautiful explosion, or this wonderful explosion, whatever it's called. But I'm very excited that we're finally getting into more meat of the story. It's been a while since I've watched anything Konosuba related, so probably gonna have to do a rewatch of seasons 1 through 2, and again also start the spin-off season with Megami. The movie's still kind of fresh in my mind. Oh, it's the good spin-off season?
But I'm kind of oversaturated on it, or I think the thing's overdone. They tried to recreate the first season. Not feeling it.
Interesting.
I'll still watch it, but it's like they're repeating the same formula.
I mean, it is Konosuba at the end of the day. Like, that is the gimmick. That's the joke, right? It's just a constant, like, I don't even know if parody is the right word. It's just constant like escalation type humor where things just get crazier and crazier with each episode. So, and obviously I imagine they play a lot into the Chunibyo aspect of Megumi and her village of fake wizards, or I guess real fake wizards. So,
I won't spoil it.
we'll talk later. We'll talk about it later. But what you might be excited for is near. Okay, I know we established this. Is it Automata or is it Automata?
Whichever one has all the A's sounding the same.
Automata, I think.
Probably.
Yeah, Automata. So.
And it's probably the Japanese pronunciation too.
Probably. But that is returning this month, and I'm sure that'll be pretty exciting. How many episodes did it get up to before it got sidelined? Like
I want to say
3?
Oh, really? 3? I want to say 5 or 6, but
5 or 6.
But I stopped after like 2 or 3.
Wow. Weren't feeling it, or just other stuff?
More than feeling it.
Interesting.
It's like they're like spin-off. It follows the main game, but with a bit differences here and there. It's kind of like a very slight branch, but I haven't caught up to it, so I don't know.
Gotcha. Was it more so just because I guess those first introductory episodes you're so well versed in near, it was kind of like like I already kind of know most of this and there's nothing really that exciting here for me to want to keep going at the moment?
No, I liked how they remade a lot of the game scenes, or probably even like taking the actual assets from the game cutscenes and turning it for rotoscoping or anime. But I don't know. It just didn't move as fast as I thought it would.
Interesting. Well, apparently it was 8 episodes before it got sidelined. So yeah, that's what I was saying. I thought it was like 3 or 4. Maybe I'm thinking about I know there was quite a few Aniplex titles that got not canceled, but you know the word I'm trying to say, that were postponed for a little bit. Was it Kubo actually? But Kubo's already did its run. I know Kubo was one of them.
They had a few delays, but not like this.
Yeah, that one was a special one. All right, what else on our list here? Viz Media to raise manga volume prices for the first time in 15 years. And I'm going to open this so I can say correctly what the prices are changing from. So yeah, so some are changing from $9.99 to $11.99, which honestly is still kind of, I guess, the cheaper options on the market, because stuff like Yen Press you'll normally see around $12.99, and then obviously independent publishers, theirs can be a little more expensive as well, because you know Viz is pretty big. They have a license for a lot of the big popular titles. You know, obviously your Shonen Jump mainstream titles, but then a bunch of other stuff as well.
What was the price before?
Before the $9.99, or
it was $9.99.
Yeah, it was kind of like $9.99. Honestly, if I go to Right Stuff right now, let me see. I'll look at a volume of One Piece because that'll be easiest. Yeah, $9.99. So, which again, it's not too bad, but it obviously inflation catching everybody. I'm curious when they'll retroactively change the prices for the already printed manga and stuff. Which, man, it'll be crazy. I guess if you want to collect something like One Piece, which is, you know, past 100 volumes, you better do it now, because, man, those dollars add up. Like, just think about that, man. Like, that's $2 extra per volume, which if there's more than 100 volumes, you're already looking at $200 more, unless I'm doing math wrong. I might be doing math wrong, but no,
and
I think
US
that's another.
dollars too.
Yeah.
And the yen is pretty weak right now.
Yeah. That's insane. That's very insane. So better either get those individuals now or buy those. They have the bundles where you can buy bulk sets of volumes of the individuals. This is just a fun fact for anybody out there. Omnibuses are okay if you're on a budget and you just want to read it and have something to own. They're fine. But if you want a good quality manga, at least for like, let's say the Viz Shonen Jump titles like your One Pieces or your Naruto and stuff like that, you definitely want to go for the individuals, because they're made of much better paper quality. Like the omnibus formats that they use for their multiple volume omnibuses, they're like a newspaper style paper, so like you can see they're flimsy, easily torn, you can see through them. Individual volumes are just a lot higher quality, so I would definitely advertise those first if you care about that sort of thing. But I own a few omnibuses. Unfortunately, I didn't collect Yu-Gi-Oh back in the day, but I collected it recently, and I own the omnibuses for those. And they work. I wish I would have had the singles, but I mean they work. They're a way to read the series because it's not available in singles anymore. But anyways, that's a tangent. Let us continue. You put on here Dentsu Anime Solutions. So what's going on with them?
They formed a new like anime solution group thing. I don't know exactly what they're doing. They're probably with the logistics and publishing of some stuff. I don't know. But Dentsu, the parent company, is the largest advertising agency in Japan, and at one point, I think in the world at some point. I don't know about that, but it's fifth largest in the world right now in terms of revenue. So to have such a major company like just spin up a anime solutions company is pretty interesting.
Interesting. I would look at the article, but either Anime News Network is having some difficulties, or yeah, it looks like they're having some difficulties. So we're just gonna have to leave that one.
They're rate limiting you,
At that,
man.
yeah, we're following the Twitter model.
They didn't renew their Google Cloud. Yeah, it's not loading on my end either.
Okay. Well, we can do some of these off the top. So, for instance, like the Into the Spider-Verse. Well, wait, what's the title for the sequel? Is it Into the Spider-Verse?
Across the Spider-Verse.
Across the Spider-Verse. Okay. Yes, there is a spin-off manga about Doc Ock going into a young girl's body, and I don't have the article because unfortunately Anne is down right now. But I forget they've named the girl, but basically he reincarnates into a young girl's body in this spin-off manga, and yeah, it's kind of weird. I don't know what that's about. I don't know what that premise is about. I will say, if you looked at my note on the thing, it's not his first instance of doing something like this. If you read American comic books, and particularly Spider-Man, there was the Superior Spider-Man line of comics where Doc Ock basically tricked Peter Parker and basically swapped bodies with him. Basically, he gave Parker his old, about-to-die body, and then he took Peter's body, and then Peter died, and then Doc Ock took on the role of as Spider-Man. And that was a pretty popular series for Spider-Man for a while, just exploring, I guess, Doc Ock and Peter's body as he, has his own views of justice and stuff like that. And obviously, being a villain, he has much stronger ways of handling things, and his philosophy is very different. It was a really good run. And a lot of that run also tied into Spider-Verse as well, so there's that connection there. But saying all that, the funny thing I thought about this when I saw this news story was that in the Superior Spider-Man story, he actually comes to fall in love with a young scientist. Well, not young. Let me use the correct term here. She's a small person. Her name is Anna Maria Marconi. And he has a relationship with her. He loves her intellect and her, her personality and all these different things, right? But, obviously she's the small person. I just was thinking to myself, let me explain. Let me go back. Sorry. Anyways, this is spoilers for Superior Spider-Man. Obviously, Peter gets his body back. You can't do that. You can't kill off Peter Parker. It just is not going to happen. But with that, Doc Ock still retains that deep love for Anna Maria Marconi, and that's sort of a thing that goes into the rest of the other stories after Superior Spider-Man. Anyways, in my mind, I'm thinking, this man truly cannot get over Miss Marconi, because now he's reincarnating into a young Japanese girl's body. Like, what's wrong with you, Doc? What's wrong? I'm curious to see what that manga is like, how good it'll be. I've actually seen quite a lot of Spider-Man manga sort of being translated and released over here, so it's pretty cool to see sort of what Japan is doing with the Marvel characters in this era. There's a lot of, Marvel interpretation from Japan in previous eras, especially around the time Stan Lee was alive, because he did a lot of collaboration. But that's a different episode to discuss all of that stuff. But
I'm so done with Spider-Man.
But Spider-Man's great, man.
They've rebooted that stuff like 6 times in the past decade.
But that's comics. That's American comics. Like, American comics live and die by the reboot, man. You know how many reboots there are? Soft reboots, hard reboots, world-ending events, world-merging events. Like that's just American
And then you
comic
gotta
books, man. That
make a multiverse out of all of it, and then you gotta watch all the stuff and read everything because they gotta want to make you invested.
oh, trust me, it's incredibly hard to stay like
Man,
if you're not like a diehard like
why
comic
can't I
fan, which
just
I.
consume one thing and that's its entirety?
But I mean, that's why manga is winning in the in the market. And that's a whole nother discussion. But it's absolutely that reason that, with manga, okay, I want to read Bleach for the first time, or I want to read I don't know.
Those are different. Those run for like decades. That doesn't really count as one sitting kind of thing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if I want to read anything from Japan, really, for the most part, like they have a easy, numerical like system. I can start at volume 1, then go to 2, to 3, and then they kind of end with like your Spider-Mans or your Captain Americas or your Batmans or your Supermans or even some of the indie scene comics. Like,
Well,
these have been
the
running.
big three, like Naruto's got spin-offs, Dragon Ball's got multiple entries, Bleach is hella long, One Piece is even longer.
But you still know
really
where to
have-
start, though.
I mean, you still have like the seasonal manga hits like Oshinoko and stuff like that. But it's just they're turning everything into huge franchises. I'm sick of it.
I mean, that's how you make the money, man. That's how you make the money. Just spread
No.
your
Japan was
Your
like
product.
one of the few places where any random ass creator can create one title, be successful, and that's it.
No, man. You gotta branch out. You gotta give the people more. What's his name? Mother's Basement has a kind of a good video on that. It's called Please Let Goku Die. I'll send that to you later. Unless you've already seen it, but it's
No, I haven't.
okay, I will send that to you later. You should watch that because it kind of touches on that same thing, and it's not as like what's the word? I guess funny as the title may suggest. Like, it's actually a pretty well spoken and put video. But
To let Ash retire, that's a step.
they let him retire, but I mean, they still got a whole franchise. Pokemon's not going anywhere, man. Pokemon's a horrible.
Yeah, Pokemon's not going anywhere, but
What?
they let a new chapter start.
Which I'm happy. I'm glad to see. I haven't actually watched any of the episodes for the new season, but I'll be curious to see what it looks like. It looks pretty from the few things I ever see of it, but yeah. But speaking of franchises and things continuing forever, Blackjack. Do you have experience with Blackjack?
Nope.
Okay. I know you told me you're sort of interested in Astro Boy, and maybe potentially Tezuka. I don't know, but Blackjack's got the 50th anniversary manga, co-produced by ChatGPT. Again, Anne is down, so I would look at the finer details of that. But it's kind of crazy to me that these corporations seem to be so tone deaf that they would do these things like this where they're using AI to produce content, and particularly content that speaks against the very thing that they're doing with using AI to make it. Like Tezuka has, and particularly in Blackjack, like there's, I believe, a story arc where I believe like a machine is doing the job of, I think it's obviously Blackjack is a medical series. So I believe they're doing some sort of medical work, but the machine has issues, and it's a whole like moral dilemma, gray line thing where Blackjack has to step in and actually fulfill the role that the machine couldn't, blah blah blah. But who thought it was a good idea to be like, yeah, we're gonna make this 50th anniversary manga of this series with ChatGPT. We're gonna have it develop it based off of fed data from Tezuka's works. Like, what? No, nobody wants that. I hope nobody buys that. I hope nobody buys it. I hope it goes away. But that's just a short touch on that. Let me see. I think that's almost about it for the anime, but I'm not going to talk too long because I feel like I want to do an actual tokusatsu episode. But really quickly, I want to touch on Subaraya, because Subaraya is doing an excellent job of entering the Western market and really trying to push Ultraman and all of the Ultraman like series and stuff like that. First of all, one thing I applaud Subaraya for is and I just saw your cursor. I forgot about Macross. We'll talk about Macross, but Subaraya has done fantastic job of keeping their good quality. What's the film reel called for shows and movies? My brain's not working right now. We'll just say reel. That works. Of keeping the reels in good condition, and like the Blu-rays that Shout Factory have done, like the Steelbook Blu-rays for all of the Ultra series, they're so beautiful. And then the show itself and the transfer is so good as well too. Like really, really good sets and just the perfect way. And they're just pumping out more and more Ultraman Blu-rays. Like if you want to be into Ultraman, it's affordable, it looks good, and there's no better time. They're doing a lot of crossovers, particularly with Marvel. And then with other Western companies as well. Like there's a huge push, and it's accessible. It's an accessible push, because the other part of that is there's Toei, and Toei has probably two of the biggest tokusatsu franchises under their belt, that being Super Sentai and Kamen Rider, right? And Super Sentai. Wait, what did you say?
I just said was.
Oh, well, oh, yes. They you threw me off of that one. Anyways, with the Super Sentai sets, we're paying like $60 for these copy reel like versions of the Super Sentai shows. The shows that were broadcasting in HD, we're still getting DVD versions of those, right? And they're just super expensive for really what we're getting, but people are buying them because we want more Super Sentai in the West. We want to see more of the shows be localized and pushed through the market. But that's really it. Like we get these sort of lukewarm DVD sets, and that's no fault of Shout Factory. Shout Factory does their best, and they do really good translations, in my opinion, for each Super Sentai show that they can license. But they're just overpriced, really, for what you're getting. Kamen Rider is a tad bit better. Again, the film for a lot of the Kamen Rider shows is a lot better preserved, so we're getting Blu-rays. Ryuki just recently released. Kamen Rider Cougar just released. We actually got Black from Discotech, and Black RX is going to be coming out next month, or maybe this month, I forget. Either or. So we're slowly getting a drip feed, and then we're also getting some of the manga too. They've been releasing the Kamen Rider Kuga manga, and it's pretty good. It's actually pretty cool to see the difference between Kuga, the Kamen Rider Kuga manga. I probably mixed my words there. I'm speaking too fast. Yeah.
You almost said. I thought you said cougar.
Oh, Kamen Rider Cougar. I'm actually surprised that's not a thing yet. I'm sure it's somewhere. There's a Kamen Rider Cougar. Maybe that's a doujinshi that we need to go hunt down.
No.
But
I don't want to see that.
I think it'd be great, man.
No, I kind of want to see it.
I think you want to see it. Don't you want to see a Grongi? That's the villains in Kuga. A Grongi all milfed up, Yeah.
Man, don't say
Kamen Rider. Anyways, my point being, I would love for Toei to do better and really push, because I feel like there's a tokusatsu push that's really gaining steam over here in the West. And I would love to see like more people getting into tokusatsu. It's a wonderful genre. It's a fun genre. It's really cool. And Tsuburaya is doing a fantastic job. And I hope that people, support them and buy the stuff. And, I've enjoyed watching Ultraman for the first time. For some of these series, I've enjoyed particularly Gridman, and not referencing the anime, although I enjoyed the anime, but the actual Gridman show. And yeah. More tokusatsu in the West. All right, Macross 2. Animego is releasing Macross 2, but they're gonna do it on Kickstarter. That's exciting. It is the film compilation that was done by Manga Entertainment, and not the actual individual 6-episode OVA.
Macross 2?
Yep, Macross 2.
I don't think that was 6 episodes.
I believe, from what I researched,
was it
Macross 2
was Plus?
Not Plus. This is Macross 2.
Macross 2?
Because apparently, it was like 6 OVA episodes.
It looks like Anne is back for now.
Is it back? Macross 2. Hold on, let's look up Macross 2 real quick. Macross 2 Lovers Again. Yeah, it's a 6-episode OVA.
I thought it was a whole ass series. Because it's what is it? They took, since Robotech is a mashup of Mosspedia and something else, huh?
Yep. Now, I don't know too much about Macross 2, but I do know that, at the very least, that one specifically is 6 episodes. But in the West, we got a compilation movie for it. So that's what Animego is going to be releasing. I'm definitely going to back it, though. Give me a copy. So excited to see that out. But I think the bigger news is Sunrise making the next new Macross series. And I'm very curious and what direction they're gonna take it. I feel like I guess newer people to Macross are a little like lukewarm one, obviously because Harmony Gold has really messed up that perception of Macross in the West with how they sort of strangled it and didn't allow Macross to be released as Macross, and just Robotech was the only thing we really had. But I feel like people who are in the know, they don't really like the pop idol-liness, I guess, of the recent Macross series. So
What?
I guess they're curious. Yeah, I've seen it. I was looking at forums and stuff, and they're like, "Why is it all this music? Macross wasn't all this music." And I guess they forget
What do
that
they mean?
Minmay is literally like
That's the whole. There's like three components to Macross
that's
since
the thing,
forever:
yeah.
music, fighter jets, some sort of war going on, and a love triangle.
What? Yeah. Which, to be fair,
Yes, the war is not. Well, that's not the.
Yeah.
That's part of the core three. That's what the how they explain Delta. That's what the three things in the triangle is. The love triangle, the music, and the fighter jets.
the mecha.
The mecha.
But I guess to be fair,
Did
like
they forget
obviously
Macross 7 exists?
probably they lump Macross 7 in with that. I mean, hold on, let me look up 7 so I make sure I remember specifically.
It's the one where they're
yeah. That's
literally
the
a
one with the
band.
dude. Yeah, that's the band. That's what I'm saying. They probably lumped this one in with all of those other ones, or the newer ones. 'Cause, I mean, when you look at like early Macross, like original, or I guess Remember Your Love, or
Do you remember?
and plus, yeah. I mean, obviously there's the music component to those, but like they're not as like stark as, I guess, starting with 7 onward, or maybe before that. I'm not as well versed, but it's not as stark. Like it's a component, but it's not as like
People like
entrenched.
Frontier. I mean, man. I mean, I can see why
go
people
ahead.
don't like the modern take of Macross Delta, but I liked it. They got good music. Animation's pretty good. I don't know why there's a reason to dislike it.
Again, I think it's just, if you liked the older stuff, it's somewhat different. Like obviously the older stuff was the formula, it was the base, but then obviously it evolved one way, and I think people are looking for it to go another way. And I mean, music is subjective anyways. I mean, like I feel like One Piece Film Red kind of lives or dies by how much you like Uda singing, because every other scene is pretty much a music video for her, and it's got that huge idol component. So it's like, if you're not feeling this J-pop, like,
I don't know.
Yeah.
They had a few songs in Delta that like took Japan by storm, and tons of memes came out of it.
but that's Japan though. That is Japan. Like Macross is huge in Japan still, I imagine. Anyways, so, but over here in the West, again, obviously there's a lot of different factors that have caused it not to be, but I mean,
Nah, the
still,
people in the West that know what Macross is, they're already pretty snooty because they like, oh, Macross, not Robotech, like me.
yeah. But that's gotten away from Sunrise, and I'm excited. Sunrise is the best studio to produce mecha anime and mecha content. I don't want to hear any arguments against that. Obviously that may be slander to you, but Sunrise is literally the goat of mecha. And so
They're not a mecha studio.
They are a mecha
They
studio.
are
I
not
mean,
a-
obviously
They're
they
a
do a
Love
ton
Live
of stuff.
studio.
Oh my goodness!
They're an idol studio.
Don't ever say that to. I
Sunrise
don't want to
is
hear
an
that.
idol studio. That's where they get their
They're-
money from.
No, I don't want to hear that ever again. These are the people who gave me, not even Gundam, but like they gave me City Hunter, man. The City Hunter anime adaptation.
Well,
I don't
speaking
wanna
of
hear that.
Sunrise, Witch of Mercury ended today, this morning.
Interesting. I thought it was already over.
No, that's
I have not watched it. So is the series over, or is it just the season?
Well, both. Season 2 it ended everything.
Interesting. Was it okay? No spoilers, but like, just give me a feeling. How'd you feel about the show?
They left a lot of things unexplained or as in like not revealed. I don't know. When I think about it as a whole, it's kind of mid. The second season is definitely better than the first. The first that's a slow burn, like very slow. Like, but then second season kind of, the first half was pretty good. Second half of the second season, they kind of hand waved some things. Like there's some things happen, don't know why, you just go with it.
Well, kind of just sounds like to me, it's an okay Gundam. It's more of a, I guess, a popcorn Gundam, right? Like you enjoy it while you're watching it, but it's not particularly memorable. And by the time it ends, you're kind of like, that was good.
It's
gonna move on.
7.8 or 7.7.
That's kind of high for you, dude. So I don't know, the way you expressed it earlier, does sound like a 7.8. But
I mean, earlier I was thinking it was an 8. I was like, 7.8, 7.7. That means I'm just slightly above. I wouldn't avoid rewatching it, but I probably wouldn't rewatch it. I have no desire to rewatch it. 8, I would probably rewatch something.
Gotcha. Lots of stuff on my backlog, so I probably will check it out at some point, but I'm not hopping at the bit to watch it, especially after I heard that the first season is very much a slow burn.
It's so slow. I'm gonna just tell you what happens, because nothing happens until like with 1/3 of the season remaining.
Spoiler warning.
It's not really a spoiler. They're just in the school for like the entire time and like gotta move on sometime. No.
So it plays its slice of life for the first season.
It is pretty much slice of life for like the first half.
That's funny. I guess they wanted to trick you into this. This is not the dark.
I mean, it turned to my coworkers.
Everybody dies Gundam.
They were watching. One of my coworkers, he's never watched Gundam before. He's not really an anime fan. We told him like, oh look, a new Gundam show. They're just like, oh, interested. Then we all dropped it. Like halfway through.
See, you never start them with the new thing. You have to give them like an established like good one so that they stay like, okay, I want to watch more. Like if I want to, well, it depends, right? So if they don't watch anime, then you have to give them something shiny. And if in that sense, I would say Iron-Blooded Orphans would be my like, this is a Gundam that you should watch.
I mean, the main reason we watched it was because it was ongoing and we would talk about it at lunch or something.
I know, but I wouldn't. With Gundam, you had to be careful because you'll have something like that. Right?
It to end up like this.
I know, but still.
Come on.
I'm curious. Well, how much Gundam have you actually watched?
It was this one G Gundam. There was like one movie I don't remember the name of, and like the first 2 episodes of IBO.
Okay, so you haven't seen much Gundam.
No.
So if anybody asks, if they're a person who's watched a decent amount of anime and they're fine with older school animation, I would tell them watch MSO8, right? If they're newer and they only really like newer anime, you know, obviously not anything 4x3 or done on original cells, like all digital, Iron-Blooded Orphans. Those are the suggestions.
That's like 48
if you just want, I mean, but I feel like you can get hooked on IBO. Like IBO has a hook. I mean, I would also, if you just want something wacky and fun and turn your brain off, G Gundam. All right,
that's even
G Gundam's
longer.
Always, but it's fun. And when you hit those moments in G Gundam, like it hits, man, and the music's fantastic as well.
With the help of Kyoji.
With the help of Kyoji. I mean, is it not a classic? You know, get mad, get really mad, get so mad. Anyways, that show is the best. But not to linger too much on the anime because we have pretty decent amount of gaming stuff. We're not gonna cover all of that, but I think that's all besides the discotheque, and we'll end it with that. The discotheque English, man, discotheque showcase. And they're gonna have another round of reveals at Otakon, which is apparently this month. I was actually thinking about being like, hey man, maybe we try to go to Otakon, maybe we try to step it up. But I actually have a work meeting, work travel, so I will be in Denver at the same time Otakon is going on. But all that to say, Discotheque revealed some cool things. This one was actually not as jam-packed to me as I guess some of the other ones are for like things that I like. Their tokusatsu seems to be doing good. Obviously, I mentioned Black and how RX is coming out, and they've also released Gavin recently under their new label Toku Time. But they said they had some more stuff in the works, so I'm excited to see what they pull out. If it's more old Kamen Rider, I'm 100% for that. But if it's other Sentai, especially metal series like Gavan, I'm super excited to see that. Mazinger and Go Nagai World on Blu-ray. I'm so happy that I never bought that DVD for Go Nagai World because, like, I would have been so upset. Like, I even recently, like, I was potentially looking at it because it's a fun series. It's basically just a crossover of like a lot of the popular Go Nagai series in chibi form. Particularly the main ones are Mazinger and Devilman, but there's also some other ones too. I believe Violent Jack shows up in like the second episode of the OVA, and there's a few other Go Nagai references as well. But it's a pretty fun show. Mazinger Z, obviously one of the godfathers of mecha anime, and one of Go Nagai's most famous works. Pretty cool to see that it's getting a Blu-ray version. I don't remember if it's actually like an upscale or if it's Blu-ray on SD. It shouldn't be Blu-ray on SD because they already have DVDs of Mazinger Z. So I'm curious if it's like the actual scans, like the direct scans. That'd be cool too to see. Aim for the Ace seems to be selling, which is really awesome. That's a old school tennis shoujo anime, and I'm glad to see that a lot of the shoujo is selling. Like, I feel like shoujo's sort of underrated here. Like you were mentioned earlier with Macross, it's one of those other niche markets. Like, if you're into shoujo, like, you're deep in the shoujo. But there's a lot of fun series with shoujo. They also just recently released Saint Tail, which is a fun series as well. So I'm glad to see Aim for the Ace is selling. It's a great set of series. I believe the only other one of note. Oh! I almost forgot. Oh gosh, you said Anne is back up.
Yeah.
There's because they basically advertise soft porn, and I have to talk about that one before we move on. I don't even think it's soft porn. I think it is just porn. Hold on. Let me find that article real quick. Where is it? Yes, Recently My Sister is Unusual. I don't know if you've heard of that before.
Is what?
Recently My Sister is Unusual.
No.
Yeah, I haven't either, but apparently it's got an anime as well, but this is a live action, like,
Live
raunchy
action.
Yes, it is a live action raunchy, like, I dared not call it a rom-com because I hope not, but basically the premise is that this ghost that has this attraction to this guy basically either possesses or, like, pretty much possesses his sister, and, like, basically just takes them through a lot of scenarios where they have to, like, have sexual encounters. And I was like, what? What is this?
Tell me where it is so I can avoid it.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm curious if they got this, like, from what I've learned about licensing anime and stuff like that, is like sometimes when you get licenses, you'll get like a bulk of licenses. So in order to like secure a deal, they'll like throw in a bunch of stuff. So say I get the license for Hokuto no Ken, right? Well, maybe they'll throw in like Hokuto no Ken SD or something like that, or that's the like the chibi parody spinoff or whatever. Anyways, the whole point being, this is a very unusual license acquisition and release for them to advertise. They have recently been advertising live action, pretty much Japanese film, and those have been pretty cool. And some of them, I mean, I think Japanese live action can lean more into the raunchy side depending on what, you know, part of that world you're looking at. But this one was like, what is going on? Like, they advertise it explicitly, like, the release will include the theatrical cut and the longer 18 plus home video version, as well as behind the scenes segments and cast and crew interviews. So,
Yo, tell me where it is so I can avoid it.
I don't know, man. I'm just giving you the info. Apparently, they released the anime for this on DVD. Hold on. Oh my gosh, and I just saw arpeggio. Oh,
Yes, sir.
flashbacks. PTSD. I don't see it on this page. Oh yes, I do. There it is. Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh.
I don't think they're gonna put the
Why does it look familiar? The artist?
I'm sure you've watched this trash, man.
No.
I'm sure you've watched.
The artist looks familiar. The art looks familiar.
Mari Matsuzawa. That's the mangaka. So anyway, I just wanted to highlight that really from Discotheque's thing. They had a good one, but I'm curious to see what they announced at Otakon, because I imagine they probably kept the really good stuff for there. So that'll be cool. So yeah, I guess now is the time that we discuss
No, we got one more.
gaming. Oh, is there one more on the anime? Go ahead.
Well,
That
there is a different one on the list, but it's not a big deal. Trigger acquires the licenses to Pantene Stocking from Gynex like yesterday.
that's what you sent me earlier. Okay.
So we'll see a new project from them.
Awesome. Well, I thought that was already announced though.
What?
The maybe not the license acquisition, but the
Like,
fact that we
new
were getting a
project.
new new project. So I guess it's just a formal thing now that now Trigger owns it, so they're fully like.
I think it is the announcement of a new project. I think the license thing was rumored a while back.
And that's interesting, but if anybody's gonna do that series justice, is gonna be Trigger. That's their style, their brand of storytelling, and everything.
They
So
probably had the staff that worked on it.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun to watch. That'll be fun to see. It'd be cool to see another generation of people experiencing panning and stocking.
I hope Teddy Lloyd comes back to do the music.
That'd be cool. That'd be pretty cool.
He was at Comic-Con.
Was he really?
Yeah. He was doing
Man,
the rave.
Interesting. You know, man, I don't pay attention to the guest speakers and stuff. I was just,
We
I
had
was
a lot of
starstruck
pretty
about
big
Squidward.
names.
Yeah. It was Squidward, man. Come on. It was Squidward.
I mean, yeah, it's Squidward.
Oh yeah, one last thing before we move on to gaming, because this is something I recently saw before we hopped on. We're getting a complete set of the 2003 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon, plus the movie. Nickelodeon has finally gotten their shit together. We're finally getting it re-released, everything, all of the seasons on DVD. And you know, some may be like, well, why are we not getting Blu-ray? I don't care, man. They're finally releasing this show. It has been in purgatory for so long. The home releases were not necessarily complete in the United States, and they were the original, like, you get like 4 episodes per DVD sort of deal.
This ain't Japanese.
So
get this
it
out of
don't
here.
matter. It don't matter. And I'm sure some Japanese staff worked on it at some point. I'm so excited. You don't understand, man. The fan base has been waiting for a home release for so long. I just had to put that out there. All right, now, gaming. The summer of gaming. Have you been doing a lot of gaming, sir?
Actually, yes. Well, maybe not
What you been playing?
immediately, but like a month ago. Well, we did the Zelda episode already.
Yes.
Well, other than that, no, not really.
Well,
I did play the Pikmin
hopefully
4 demo.
you did play the Pikmin 4 demo.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that a little bit, because then that's a good transition. I guess how well acquainted are you with Pikmin? How do you like Pikmin? Sort of.
I played the Pikmin 3 demo, like when it came out, or when I got a Switch. But no.
But you didn't pick it up.
No, it's $60, man.
I guess, but you're interested in it. You like it.
I'm not sure what it all has to offer for me to spend my money.
That's why you try the demo or you watch videos online.
The demo
But I
doesn't
understand.
have that much.
I guess I understand. Pikmin 4. I haven't actually looked at too much of the content for Pikmin 4. I know one of the new things is that you get to customize your own little explorer, which is pretty cool.
Yes.
Obviously Pikmin is one of those ones, like, it's a big franchise, but it's not really for Nintendo. So I'm excited to see them really like putting some resources behind it and really trying to push it. I hope it can grow, because it's a really fun strategy style series, very unique too. I have sort of a unique name for it, because especially since it was born in the GameCube era, it's kind of got this, how do I put it? Mystical Japan, wonderful mystical
Goofy,
Japan energy. Nah, man. I mean, it reminds me
It
of,
is
like,
goofy.
gosh,
You
what's
can't
the
deny that.
It is. I mean, it's goofy, but
Goofy,
I mean, it's also, it's kind of creepy too. I mean, when you
no,
really
no.
think about what's going on.
Maybe the first
Like-
two were kind of creepy because of the limited graphic style.
I mean, either way, it's pretty cool. I remember, because actually, technically, Pikmin 3 was my first Pikmin, and I got it on Wii U when it launched, because, you know, obviously, we were starving for games on the Wii U. But I booted that thing up, man. It was so shiny and so nice looking, and the sound design was awesome. And I was just like, man, this game is awesome. And Pikmin 3 is awesome. I need to go back and finish it, but I'm excited to see Pikmin move. I thought it was awesome that they ported Pikmin 1 and 2 to the Switch, which obviously they didn't do the Metroid Prime type of remaster. This is really just a port, an upscaled port, which is fine, I think. I don't think it needed the full like shebang of what Metroid Prime got. But I'm glad that Pikmin is all on one console. Like, that's really cool, and I hope that's a sign that they're gonna do that for other series. Like, for instance, Luigi's Mansion. They're putting Dark Moon on the Switch. They're doing a remaster of that. And that one was it was cool. I was also kind of salty, but not really. Only reason I was salty about that is because I actually just recently picked it up for the 3DS. Obviously, the Wii U and eShop, the Wii U and the 3DS eShop closed recently. So I was just sort of like looking at what games, like, I'm kind of interested in this, but I'm glad to see that Dark Moon is not going to be stuck on 3DS. It will be on Switch. I found it kind of odd though that they ported just Dark Moon and not the original Luigi's Mansion. But talking about all of this, obviously all of these games and information stem from the Nintendo Direct. This was what, the 21st or the 27th? It was the 21st, I believe. In June. And we got a lot of good information. Was there anything from the Nintendo Direct that sort of caught your eye that you were interested in?
Other than the big titles, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, another goofy game with all kinds of weird. I don't know what you call it.
Talking about those flowers?
Yeah, no, like what they do? I mean, like what?
Oh, like the gimmick of the flowers. Like
yeah, the gimmicks, all
the
gimmicks and all the different levels.
Yeah. But it looks cool, man.
It's
I'm
interesting.
Excited.
But it's like,
did
they really run out of ideas? Throwing it all into one game?
Maybe. I don't know. I
Turn
think
into
for
an
me,
elephant.
like,
funny shit I ever seen.
Okay, yeah, the elephant was kind of goofy, but I mean,
goofy.
Everything else looks really good. Like, I'm excited to see them move past the new Super Mario Brothers look, which I feel like people were over like bashing it. Yes, it's kind of sterile looking, but like it was fine. It looked good, and you got good platforming games out of it, 2D platformers. But seeing the new art style, it looks really good. I like what I heard from the music, so I think the music's gonna be great.
Yeah, of course it's going to be a AAA polished game.
Yeah, but I feel like obviously, we only get a good platformer. Like, there's the indie scene, yes, but we get our platformers every so often, so I'm excited to see another really good 2D platformer coming out. I really like the fact that it seems like we're going to have a lot of playable characters in this one as well. So not just Mario and the Toads, but also Peach, Daisy, the Yoshis are actually playable, but you can technically ride your... oh gosh, that was going to sound wrong. You can ride the Yoshi as when your friend is playing as Yoshi, so... There seems to be a lot of cool things that are going to be done in that game. I'm curious to see what other power-ups they're going to be. I'm actually thinking the elephant is going to be the main, like, big face power-up, right? Similar to how the cat Mario's power-up was it for a world. But,
I mean, I'm sure they've got something hiding in their sleeve after
but I feel like it'll be
Zelda.
more... Yeah, but I feel like it'll be more elemental. Like, it won't be anything, like, too crazy.
Yes,
but
the element of elephant. We already have fire and ice and stuff, flying stuff.
Yeah,
we already got the elements.
They'll figure out a way. They'll give us lightning. They'll do lightning this time. Electricity.
We had Metal Mario before, not in 2D.
Yeah, but not in 2D. So there you go. Well, technically, I guess you did because of the Tanuki suit power up where you could turn into the stone. It's not one for one, but it's similar. Anyways, rapid fire through the other things that were interesting. Sonic Superstars, another 2D platformer which looks to be really good. I'm super excited. Like, October is going to be really fun because both Wonder and Superstars come out on the same day. So 2D platformer fans are going to be eating good. Super Mario RPG looks pretty cool. I don't have nostalgia for it like a lot of other people because I never owned it on Super Nintendo, but that should be fun. Star Ocean, the second story. I'm really loving Square Enix's remasters of these 2D JRPGs in this 2.5 style. I forgot the official name they use for it, but man, it looks really good. So I'm super excited to try that one out, especially after playing Live a Live, probably my game of 2022. That game was super good. So yeah, I mean, there was some fun things in the direct. It was kind of light for me personally, but I think that's a good thing. Less money. Let me see. Is there anything on this list you want to speak on
the
gaming, or
direct, or the whole list?
just the list? I think we covered the direct on.
You put on here Fate Samurai Remnant for some reason. Why?
I just think it looks good. Are you up to speed on that?
No,
Kind of.
I just
Okay. Do you know what that is?
not this specifically, but I am a Fate fan.
Gotcha. So I'm curious. You haven't seen anything about this. It's basically like it's a unique story. I don't think it ties into any of the pre-existing Fate stuff outside
Nothing
of being
does.
a Fate. That is true. That is true. But it's set in the, I don't know what period, but obviously it's set in periods with like feudal Japan and samurai and stuff like that.
Edo period.
It's a Muso game, right?
Oh.
But
In a Fate,
it's a really
Fate title's a Muso
Yeah.
game. Interesting
Yeah.
combo. Oh, that reminds me.
But
We missed was an announcement yesterday of the Fate Strange Fake novels getting adapted anime.
Fate Strange.
Fate Strange Fake.
Interesting. I've not heard of that one. There's too much Fate stuff, man. Like, what's the dude's name who writes all this stuff? Nasu? Is that him?
Nasu, yeah.
Yeah. Like, he just stays busy, just pumping out content, just more and more content. But yeah, Fate Samurai Remnant looks like a really good game. So I just wanted to highlight it because it looks really fun, man, and like the story looks involved. And there's something about Fate. I don't know. There's just this energy and the designs of Fate characters and how they interact and stuff. Like,
And
I'm
Fate
not the
designs
biggest
are-
Fate fan.
They're like 50-50.
Yeah.
Half they're like super unique, pretty sleek and cool designs, and the other half they're all Saber.
But I mean, Saber sells, man.
Saber face, yeah. I don't know.
I mean, she sells. I mean, there's Blue Saber, then there's Red Saber,
There's
and then
anything,
there's
so-
European Saber,
Then
and
there's
then
the-
there's
But
gosh, there's another one.
and then there's the anti versions of all of those.
Yeah. So many sabers, man. It's kind of crazy. But yeah. Speaking of sabers, speaking of very, I guess, Japanesey weeby type content, Akiba's Trip, Undead and Undressed. So we already got this like years back. Like,
That's what I
man,
thought.
it's been a long time. Yes, it is. It is not a new game. It is the True Route DLC. So, have you played an Oculus Trip? Do you know much about Oculus Trip?
I watched a bit of your playthroughs.
Interesting. Like for Undead and Undressed, or the original one I did more recently, or do you even remember which one it was?
No,
Okay.
probably the most recent one.
Gotcha. Well, Undead and Undressed is the sequel. And so really what this new release is, one, they're putting it on Switch. But two, they're adding the true route for the maid. So the maid did not originally have a route in the original game. And I find it kind of interesting that she is the true route because she's not she wasn't integral in the plot at all. So I'm curious how they spin this for her as the true route. One thing I find funny is people are like, "What do you mean this is the true route? Does that mean that invalidates all of my other choices?" Because the fun thing with Akiba's Trip, right, is that you can basically choose your own ending, and a lot of times it's based off of the girl that you want to romance or be partners with or friends or whatever. But yeah, I'm excited to play through this and see how they how the story goes for the true route. It's been so long, so it'll definitely be fresh. I know when I play I'll remember stuff, but it'll be fun to play that again on Switch. Yeah, what else on here? Nexamon, that is fake Pokemon, but Nexamon was really good. I played Nexamon 2 on Switch as well. Really, really good Pokemon clone, but they showed like a brief teaser of the game in like 3D. I'm super excited to see what they do with that. I find it kind of crazy that this mobile game developer is like taking their project into the next level. But I guess mobile games are already at that point now, so it's not like it's that weird to see in this day and age. But still, that's pretty cool.
Who's the developer?
That's a good question. I don't remember the name. Viwo Interactive. I've never heard of them before, but Nexamon is one of the better Pokemon clones out there.
Canadian.
Are they really Canadian?
Yes.
That's funny. That explains some of the humor. that explains a lot of the humor. If you've ever watched Total Drama Island or
Oh my
a
god.
lot of those cartoons from the early 2000s when Canada was just
That
the
wasn't early
main producer.
2000s.
That was early 2000s.
That was like
It was either
2010.
early, well, the 2010s. I don't know, man. It was in that era, somewhere around there. It has very similar humor because it has a very like specific style of humor that you'll either like or dislike. But
Goofy.
interesting that it's Canadian. Yeah, goofy. Yeah. Anyways, speaking on smaller things, the Wonderful 101. So I forget when the Kickstarter went out to get Wonderful 101 off of the Wii U and onto other consoles. I feel like that was probably like 3-4 years ago. But we're finally coming around to all of the stuff being released. I just recently got my Wonder Pendant, which is like an actual real life replica of the pendant in the game. I'm not going to go through explaining Wonderful 101, but it's probably one of my top 5 games of all time. I love this game to death. But they finally released the After School Hero DLC, which was a part of the Kickstarter. And interestingly enough, they had an interesting release thing for it because they released it in parts. They did part 1, then they did part 2, but then just recently they released a standalone version that is just both parts together. And so I just find that very interesting. I'm not sure why they did that, but it's free. So you can go pick it up. Well, I don't know if it's free.
It says $10.
It may be free if you own a copy of the game. So it may like check to see if you own the game. But yeah, it's free. It better be free because I pay for
standalone version of the free downloadable content for the game.
Yeah, the Wonderful 101 After School Hero.
Please
focuses
be
on
careful not to make a duplicate purchase if you are eligible for the downloadable content.
Yeah. Maybe the standalone is like the paid version.
Yeah, the
for
standalone is
everybody
$10
else.
for sure.
Gotcha. So I probably need to be careful about that then, because I haven't installed the individual parts. I hadn't gotten around to that, but I'm just glad that it's finally out. It's been so long. I almost thought they forgot about it and they weren't gonna fulfill that, but they did it. So there we go. I'm still waiting on the comic book, by the way, and my name's in the credits. I'm so proud of that. Anyways, moving on. Kiryu is back.
And he's naked.
Before I talk about, and he's always naked though.
No, wait, I'm thinking about the other guy. Wait, was it Kiryu in the trailer?
Are you thinking about Ichiban, like the new protagonist of the Yakuza, or are you thinking about actual Kiryu?
I don't.
Yeah, that's
Was the guy in the trailer? No, I don't remember the trailer.
Now, there's 2 games, because I actually got confused with this too. So there's 2 games coming out. There's Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name, and then there's Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth.
Yeah,
The Man Who
Wealth
Erased
is
His Name.
with Ichiban.
Yes. The Man Who Erased His Name is the Kiryu one. But Kiryu is actually in Infinite Wealth, apparently.
Yes.
So, first of all,
Yeah, like
Sega.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Sega is pumping out these. Which I mean, they built their Dragon engine for this specific purpose, so I understand.
Gaiden was announced like 9 months ago.
Which one?
Gaiden.
Oh, Gaiden. Was it really announced 9 months ago?
IGN's got their official announcement trailer 9 months ago.
Jeez.
So
but when was Infinite Wealth
the past
announced?
Yeah, there's the one 3 weeks ago at the what's it called?
Okay.
PlayStation event.
I know what you're talking about. They're still pumping it out though. I mean, think about
Gaiden
it. Like
did
9
also
months.
get a gameplay trailer.
Yeah.
When that Infinite Wealth trailer came out.
Yeah. So, and I think a lot of people are happy about that because obviously, the reception to the transition to RPG for the original Like a Dragon, it's mixed. I think people like it, but then other people but I like my beat 'em up like.
Wait, which
content
one
that
transitioned to RPG?
The ones that follow Ichiban. So his game, like technically Yakuza 7 is an RPG.
What?
It is not. It's not a beat 'em. You didn't know this?
I haven't even finished 0.
Yes. So Like a Dragon is it is a full RPG. It doesn't. I mean, yeah, it's an RPG. It's not a beat 'em up like all of the other games before
I
it.
see.
Because technically, originally, what's the other series? Judgment. Judgment was going to be the action version. It was going to technically be that continuation of that same like beat 'em up style, like the original Yakuza games. But then there was a conflict with the original actor for the main character of that series after the second game. And so I believe that series got canceled. And people actually like Judgment as far as like the story and obviously the gameplay too. So it's kind of sad to see that that's kind of gone. But I guess they went back and they're like, okay, well, we'll bring Kiryu back then. And so now we have Gaiden. So I'm be curious to see how they work with that. But yeah, man, if you haven't played Zero, you got a lot of catching up to do. Cause I mean,
I'm like halfway
with
through
Zero
that I haven't touched in like 3 years.
It's crazy. But seriously, man, they're pumping these games out because you have Zero, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right?
See,
okay,
that's
all
a
of
lot.
yeah, you have all of these, and then
That's
you
what I'm
have the
talking about with
spinoffs.
these franchises, man.
I'm just saying. Well, if you really think about it with Yakuza, it is a long narrative, and that's kind of different.
Yeah, like
now,
One Piece.
Yeah, but when you think about now, more to your point about the franchises, then you have the spinoffs. So you have there's a shooter that's exclusive to the PS3. I can't think of it, but it's actually like a zombie apocalypse. It is a non-canon spinoff, but that one's kind of funny. Then there's the Hokuto no Ken one, which is technically built off the same engine of Yakuza, and it's technically a spinoff of that series. Then there's Ishin, which is set in feudal Japan, which just recently got a re-release or a remaster. Then there's Judgment 1 and 2.
Is Ishin the one that takes place in like the past?
Yeah, that's the one in the past. And there's technically 2 of those, I believe.
Is that the one with the naked old man dancing?
I think they all have a naked old man dancing, because if I remember correctly, either 0 or 1 has an naked old man dancing. So I think that's just a series staple. I'm trying to think though. Is that all of the modern Yakuza? I think that's all of the modern Yakuzas.
I mean, they remade 1 and 2.
Well, that's what I mean. That's why I'm saying 1 and 2. I mean those remakes. I'm not referring to the PS2 originals because they're kind of their own thing at this point. It's crazy, man. And now we have obviously I omitted Like a Dragon, which again is an RPG title, but it is a continuation of the story. And then now we have Infinite Wealth and The Man Who Erased His Name. So the series is stacked, man.
Taking place in the U.S. That's crazy.
Yeah.
He's gonna get shot.
The guns in the game will be much stronger, but it's okay.
Assault rifles.
Kiryu will just eat them. Yeah, that's why it has to be an RPG, man. So there's a chance to miss. Otherwise, yeah, right. It'll be interesting to see them not in Kamurocho for the 15th time. But yeah, I need to start 4. I've beaten everything to 4, but I was gonna play the shooting game spinoff. I just hadn't gotten. Actually, I think I need to play 4 first before I play the shooting game spinoff, and then I play the shooting game spinoff. It's crazy. Having said all that, you can get all of the original series games, so 0 through 6. You can currently get those on Good Old Game. Yes, the remix version. So you can get those on Good Old Game. I think the deal may be dead now. Actually, I can just click the link and see because I put it in here. It still says 70% off, but yeah, I think by the time we put this video out, no, it's still saying 33, so I don't know, but it is $33.92 or $34. You get all of the games, and they're DRM free. You can actually get the similar deal on Steam. So if you prefer Steam, you can do it there. But like, that's a crazy deal, man. Yakuza 0, Yakuza Kiwami, Kiwami 2, 3 remaster, 4 remaster, 5 remaster, Song of Life, and all of the DLC. That's an awesome deal. So if I put this out in a timely manner, definitely go buy those. Yakuza is a fantastic, fun franchise. Like, yes, they're long games. Yes, they're kind of semi, and they can be an acquired taste. However,
games.
It is an amazing goofy ass series of games. Like, and the escalation for each series, especially if you play them within a span of time, right? Like, I wouldn't say marathon them, but like if you play them within a span of time, like you hop into the next one, like, and you really start playing it, and you're playing all the side quests, and you're getting invested. Like when you get to the end, like nobody does a climax like Kiryu fucking Kazuma, man. Like, oof. Like, Yakuza is a great franchise. So, anyways, enough nerding about Yakuza. Let's talk about fighting games. Yakuza. Okay. But yes, fighting games. Let's talk about fighting games. Street Fighter 6. I have not yet gotten the chance to play it, but I'm so happy to see how it's doing. Already has its DLC roadmap. The characters look great. I'm really interested to get my feet wet into the World Tour mode. Like, I feel like that's exactly what we need in single player fighting game content. And you want to talk about something being goofy, man,
Yeah.
the characters that you can make for World Turmoil,
No, I thought you were
World
about
Tour.
to talk about the dialogue.
Oh no, that I'm getting there. Like the dialogue's goofy too, but I'm again, it's just good, like goofy, fun, semi trying to be serious, but you better not take it serious. Just fun single player content, like and like it's just fun, man. You're just going around Metro City, or you're going to all of the World Warriors different locations. Like it's so cool. Like I'm really glad that they stepped it up for Street Fighter 6 after sort of what Street Fighter 5 was. Like Street Fighter 5 was great by the end of its life, but it took a lot of patching and changes and work to get it to a good product. But like out of the gate, Street Fighter 6 just seems to be like doing the damn thing. So I'm super excited. I'm glad to see it. Street Fighter's back, and so is Mortal Kombat 1. Because we were talking about American comics earlier. Mortal Kombat is also guilty of doing 50,000 reboots at this point. Because technically, MK9 or Mortal Kombat was a reboot, right? And we got 10, and then we got 11, and then with 11 they were like, okay, we're gonna reboot again. And this is slight spoilers, but it's not really because 11's old. But Raiden is no longer. What's his title? I forget what his title is because I'm not as well versed in Mortal Kombat lore. But anyways, the main god of Earth, god of Earthrealm, right? Now it's Liu Kang, and so we get to experience the story as Liu Kang as the god of Earthrealm, and just all of these different changes.
Another timeline.
The game looks good. Another timeline.
No. It's like freaking Star Trek.
But in this timeline, they got better, or they let me put this respectfully. They took more attention to detail to animation, not that goofy as you can say, animation from MK9 to MK10, and even in MK11. Like it looks really good. It looks really fluid. I like the cameo system. You basically have your backup like tag characters. Did you say you like Cammy?
You say cameo, I say Cammy.
You say Cammy, I say, but yeah, cameo. The cameo system looks really fun. Apparently it's a faster MK11, which was a problem with MK11 because MK11 is very slow, but MK1, we'll say, seems to rectify a lot of that. So I'm excited to see what that game's gonna do. It's also coming to Switch, which is kind of crazy. But yes,
frame rate's
moving along, suck. Wait, what was that?
The frame rate's probably gonna suck.
MK11 on Switch runs pretty well, actually. So I don't know. I think they might optimize it pretty well. They'll probably give it to the same studio that they did to put 11 on Switch, but obviously it's gonna have a lot of cut content or a lot of cut fidelity in a lot of areas, but it'll probably run well. King of Fighters 15, we're getting Goenitz as a boss. We're getting another boss rush. Super excited. Because I'm hoping Goenitz is cool, but I'm hoping we get like a Rochi. Hope we get like God, what's his name? Crizzlet, I think. He's the main boss from the 2000 series.
What you call him?
I don't know, man. I forget what his name is. I forget it starts with a K, but he's sick too. I'm excited to see that King of Fighters is doing well in the modern era. Like, I'm glad to see SNK is putting out quality titles and people are loving the titles. I think the netcode is still sort of shoddy, so people have issues with that, but SNK is kind of back, baby, and it feels good. And I wanted to give a quick shout out to this game I randomly saw. It's called Diesel Legacy, and it's got like the steampunk aesthetic to it. And I randomly saw this. I did not know this was a thing, but it looks really cool. It's a 2v2, like, sort of open plane fighting game. So for people familiar with fighting games, in like the Fatal Fury series, like, you have plane switching, so you can travel between the planes and you can walk up and down the planes, or think like an old school 2D beat 'em up where you're like walking up and down the planes or whatever. Well, you can do that in this game, but like it's a fully fledged like tag fighting game, and it looks really good. So I'm actually excited to see what they do with this game, and I'm gonna keep my eye on it, and other people should too. And that's why I wanted to bring that up really quickly, because I was like, man, this looks really good. Like, obviously with indie games, the art styles can vary and your mileage may vary, because, you know, again, indie games sort of can swing one way or the other with the art style or the art direction. But yeah, I like what I see. It looks really good. I've been talking a lot. Is there Anything else on this list? I can keep going, but like, is there anything else on this part of the list that you're interested in or like caught your eye?
I mean, Armored Core, obviously, August. What's his Daemon X, Machina, Titanic?
I know you didn't just say what is Daemon X Machina. You
No,
go
I
find
know.
a
I
YouTube
played
video.
Daemon X Machina, but what is? Oh, it's
It's the sequel, man.
It's a sequel. That was like DLC or something.
No, it's a full sequel. We're getting a full sequel. Like, Daemon X Machina is so good, and you sound so lukewarm about it. Like, how can you sound so lukewarm? Daemon X Machina is so cool, dude. Like, and you probably played it on Steam?
Yes.
Or, yeah, so you probably played a much better version than I played. I played it on the Switch.
I mean, you know
But
how
even
I
on-
like Shoji Kawamori
Yeah.
and his mecha designs, his inventor.
So why are you
Macross.
not? So why are you not excited? We're getting another one. Because, I mean, honestly, I didn't know if we would get another one. Like, obviously, it kind of flew under the radar. And I felt like, you know, that it did not deserve that. Like, it is an awesome mecha game. Like, a really awesome mecha game. Like, mechanically wise, like, design wise. Everything was pretty cool. And it ran great on Switch for all intents and purposes. Again, probably should get the Steam version. But, like, Daemon X Machina is so cool. So I'm so glad. We don't have any gameplay, though. Which is kind of sad, but I'm just...
I didn't really like the first game.
You didn't like the first game?
Felt like a mobile game. That's what it felt like.
That's blasphemy, man.
The UI definitely felt like a mobile game. The graphics, the movement felt like a mobile game.
Look, I won't argue you that I don't play I don't play mobile games at all, so I can't really say one way or the other. But to me, it felt fresh. Like, it has an art style. So again, I can't argue that, but I really liked everything.
But the fidelity of it is a bit low.
Well, again, because it was originally a Switch title, and then they ported it to Steam. It wasn't developed for Steam, and that's probably why
okay.
too. Yeah.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Still.
Oh, go ahead.
I don't know. Didn't really like it.
I can understand, but I love that game. I love that game to pieces. I didn't finish it because I got really close. I believe this was around the time that I moved back here, but
It looks like or felt like a low budget game. Like here,
I don't know if I
I'll
can
put a screenshot of what comes up when you just search it. Like this UI is just terrible.
I mean, I can agree. Like, it's definitely a very cluttered and not like.
Well, I don't know about clutter, but like don't know what like half of these things say.
It's cluttered. I mean, it's cluttered. But I don't know, man. I really enjoyed it. Once you like, I think it's one of those ones like when you really get into it, you just get into it. Like, but if you never get that hook, like, yeah, I think it's sort of like, what is all this crap? Like, what is this? Like, I don't remember what a lot of this is because again, it's been so long since I played it. But I remember the dopamine of playing this game, like, and really like figuring it out. Like, I think that's the main thing. Once you figure it out, it clicks. And then the game feels good. And then I also like the design of the game as well. Like, I do kind of like this UI, but looking at it just now, yeah, it just looks a little cluttered to me.
It looks plain and uninspired.
I don't know how you spice it up for this game, though, to be honest. Based off of the art direction for the game, I don't know how you change it. I think it works, personally.
I mean, it looks like it came from a mobile game.
And that's fair. I mean, that's fair.
I think what I also didn't like was the character design or character style.
Like the pilots and stuff.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've seen them, so I don't quite remember. But I was more into the mechs, so I probably agree.
Yeah, the mechs were cool.
but
other than that, the game is pretty bare bones. Was this an early Switch title or something?
maybe early to mid in the life cycle.
It says September 2019.
I guess that's mid.
First third.
Yeah. So.
No, wait. The Switch came out like 2018, didn't it?
Came out in 2017, I believe. Tell me.
2017.
Internet.
March 2017. Yeah.
Oh, 2017. Okay. So yeah, that's an early title. So, I don't know, man. I thought Marvelous did a good job with that title, but I can understand why you would have, feelings about it. I can get it. But are you excited what Armored Core looks like? Because we talked about this, and I know you were telling me, like, it looks... You said a very controversial thing after we looked at that initial trailer for it, and I will let you slide on that, but how do you feel about it now?
What did I say before?
You said it looked like a Gosh, what did you say? You said it looked like a PS.
Oh yeah, the graphics. It look
Yeah, you're
way
talking about
last gen, like maybe 2 gens old. Like it
You
sits
said
between PS3, PS4.
I don't know. You said something wild, and I was like, no way this looks like that. No, no, absolutely way. But regardless, we're not in the past. Have you seen any new footage for the game?
No,
Okay, so you haven't looked at anything.
I mean, saw
Well, never mind.
gameplay. That was probably when I commented on it. That looks.
Well, yeah,
like
that was like the initial launch trailer when we talked about that. Like there's new like trailers and stuff showing the game off and stuff.
Yeah, it
looks fun.
PS3, PS4 graphics.
Man,
PS3 graphics.
I had never seen no PS3 run a game like that. Game looks
PS4.
good, in my opinion. It looks good and it looks fun, and I think that's the main thing. Like fun, just fun mecha game. I'm excited. I'm excited to see people get their hands on it. I hope people buy it. It's not gonna be $70.
You know they're gonna charge $70 for this.
They're not charging $70
They
for that,
would.
man. Come on, they would not. They know better. If they want to send this out to fail, yeah, they'll charge 70. But ain't no way this is.
No, I guess it is 60 on Steam at
60,
least.
yeah.
Hey, why is it 70 on Xbox? What's up with that? What's up with that?
That may be like a special edition.
Oh yeah, deluxe. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, you should watch some gameplay, man. The game looks really, really good. And I hope this does well for From Software because, Souls games are great, but I would love for them to get back into their bag of other titles, specifically Armored Core. If this one does well, I feel like they'll give us more. So I'm looking forward to that.
We need more mecha stuff.
Exactly. I would love for another Virtual On. Do you know the last Virtual On was a crossover with, what's the name of that anime? What's the one that's got the dude who, never mind. If I give this description, it's very generic. It's got like 3 different spin-offs. One's like Railroad something. It's got like a brown-haired girl. She's got like a clone. The other main girl is like a nun. And then there's the white-haired dude.
You're talking about what's it called? The certain magical index and scientific real
certain
gun.
magical index. Yes. Certain magical index.
What's the name of that universe? Tuaru. Yeah, the Tuaru.
Yeah.
Universe.
It's coming back to me now. Virtual On did a crossover with them back like 2013. I feel that I'm just shooting a number off my head. Actually, let me just look it up.
A certain magical virtual on.
Yes, that is what it is. Does it have a date on there?
2018.
2018.
February 2018.
Actually, did I say 2013? Hey, that's very dumb. No, it was not 2013. 2018 sounds right. But either way, I need a new Virtual On, man. Virtual On is so good. We need more mech games.
Exhibited in September 2017 at the Tokyo Game Show. That's why we gotta go there.
To TGS?
Yeah.
Or just Tokyo in general?
Well, both.
One day we'll get there.
Tokyo Game Show.
But
Ichi Niche Special.
The Ichi Niche Special, where I go up and I walk up to a person at TGS and I yell in their face, Igiari, because I don't care what you have, because we're getting the Phoenix Wright, we're getting the Apollo Justice trilogy, even though really only one game is about him out of this trilogy. We're getting the trilogy. And that's really cool. I'm really excited to play those games. I'm glad they're not stuck on the 3DS. Again, that's I'm glad to see that they're sort of backporting some of these, not backporting, but they're porting some of the 3DS titles to more current gen systems, which means, we'll have more available access to them. I find it interesting that they didn't redo Apollo Justice and like the art style of Dual Destinies and Spirit of Justice, but I'm excited. I haven't played Apollo Justice. I did play Dual Destinies or finished Dual Destinies. I don't remember if I finished
what
Spirit
is this
of
man
Justice.
talking about?
I'm talking about Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney.
Thought they already ported everything.
No, man, I guess you haven't seen the news. It's the Apollo Justice Ace Attorney trilogy, and they're putting those 3 titles on current gen systems. So Steam, Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, all of those systems. So those are the 3DS titles, right? Apollo Justice, Dual Destinies, and I keep saying Spirit of Justice, but that may not be it's Spirit of Justice. So we are getting those games ported, no longer locked on 3DS. Man, you gotta keep up with the news, man. How did you not know we were getting those new those ports?
Oh no, how could I not?
See, that's a very toxic response. Almost as toxic as Persona fans. Or I guess Atlas
Oh, what a
fans.
segue.
Right. I'm trying. Um, Persona 3 Reload looks really cool. I don't know how much, again, knowledge you have of Persona, but Persona 3 Reload, it looks like a good it's not a remaster. I guess it is a remaster
I don't think I would
or a
ever
remake.
play a Persona game
You don't think you ever?
because of the fans.
They're pretty toxic, man. I think you should try them. At the very least, Shin Megami Tensei. Of course, that all depends on how much you like JRPGs or dungeon crawlers or that sort of thing. But Persona 3 Reload looks pretty good. Out of the Persona titles, at least the popular ones, Persona 3 is always the one that sort of aesthetically stood out to me and has given me interest. I don't know if I like the fact that it feels like they've given it a Persona 5 coat of paint. Like, I get Persona 5 is like super popular, but I'm just like, I kind of like what Persona 3 looks like itself, and you know, that distinct identity that it has. That being said, Persona 5 Tactica, I think that's how you say it. It looks alright. I think they're milking Persona 5 to death. Going back to your franchise comment, like, just let Persona 5 rest, man. Like, it's got way too many spin-offs. At this point, I think it's superseded Persona 4 in that aspect. Like, just let that series and those characters like rest, man. Just either put out a new Persona or just chill.
You got a Persona 5 coat of paint?
Yeah.
It looks like they just remastered the models.
I'm talking about like the UI and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Like the menus and the UI and stuff, because that's the big part of the stylistic charm of Persona 5. Not like the character models in the overworld and stuff like that. That's different. But I don't know, man. I feel like Atlas fans should just like obviously complain about stuff that's not right, or you know, they should do better. But like, the bitching just starts immediately, and I'm just like, my goodness, like, it's okay to, you know, accept these things or like these things, like, and not hate these things. And I get it from Persona 3 standpoint, like, it's the original Persona 3, so it doesn't have like the female protagonist. I believe it doesn't have some of the in-game content as well. Like, it's just the original Persona 3, which I also understand too. Atlas is scummy, and so they'll like probably make a lot of that content DLC and charge for it. But I don't know, just, it's okay to like your series and not immediately just like be like, I don't like this. You know, I feel like they've done that a lot in that community. But let me not talk, because I'm not a part of that community, so I'm not trying to get doxxed or people coming after me because I'm talking about Persona.
Oh no, your website's already gone.
Yeah. Website is down. Honestly, I think that's a lot. We'll just hit some highlights and then we're going to transition to other and then probably wrap this up. But just a quick run through. Spider-Man 2 also launches in October.
Cool.
I hate that it's not on PS4, but I'm glad that they're sticking to just PS5, because they can just squeeze all the power that they can out of a console anyways. So I'll be excited to watch that until I can get a PS5 of my own, and then I'll play it someday. What else is on this list? Oh, physical copies. Physical copies are a dying trend. People are moving towards digital. Old man is sad, but it's okay. I understand. Sonic Origins is probably the least offensive one on this list I put on here, because you get all of the Sonic Origin games, but all of the Plus games, like the Master Gear games and stuff like that, they don't include them on the cart. They put it on a download code, which doesn't make any sense, because they're Game Gear games. Like, why they're not huge? They're probably like a megabyte or two. Anyways, Batman Arkham Collection was announced for Switch in the latest Direct. It's getting a physical release, but they're only putting like the original title on the cart. That makes sense to me, because those are huge games. That just makes sense to me. But the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection. So I don't know if you've heard about that, but they're re-releasing like all of the original Metal Gear titles. That's also getting a physical release, but this one is particularly stupid, because I don't think any of the games besides maybe like the NES Metal Gear is on the cart, because they only put like bits and pieces of the game on the cart, and you have to download the rest alongside all of the video. And I'm just like, why not just make the video? Because I imagine that's what's bloating a lot of the storage capability on the cart. Why not just put that separate? All right, make that a download, and then just put the games on the cart. Like, what's the point of making a physical cart if the games aren't on the cart and it requires a download? But what do I know? Again, old man screaming at the sun changing to the moon at night. I get it.
I mean,
Physicals are out the door, but
it is pretty inconvenient.
It is.
Until you lose access to your account.
Yes.
This
is why I like. Yeah, this is why I like good old games, man, because they're DRM free. So like.
No, what if you lose your account and you lose the download and you're still out of luck?
Sure, but that's negligence on your part. Like, put it on a flash drive at that point, right? Like, you can make backups and backups and backups. But, like, say, for instance, you get some from Steam, and then Steam is like, okay, you no longer can play these games anymore, or the service goes down, and they don't, like, unlock the games or whatever. Like, your titles are gone. They're restricted. Like, if I bought, I don't know, Resident Evil Village, and then Capcom was like, sorry, we don't want you to play that anymore. Technically, they have that right to just, like, hey, you can't play this copy of Village that you bought on Steam.
I mean,
and we're gonna force Steam to
it's happened
stop.
Plenty of times. Like the Alan Wake was taken down because of expiring music licenses.
Exactly.
But users were still able to download it if they owned it. Steam's not that of an asshole. Steam's actually pretty good.
I mean, I only don't deal with Steam because just on principle. Like, again, the reason I don't really buy a lot of digital games is because there's not that real sense of owning it. Like, technically speaking, Nintendo could send out, I don't know, a patch update and basically say, hey, you can't play your games ever again on your Switch. Of course, somebody would break that and they would lose a lot of their business and probably go bankrupt from doing something that stupid. But technically they could do it, right? And they could lock out my physical carts. But, like, you know, there's a sense of ownership with having the physical that's not constrained by the digital rights of, you know, digital downloads. And that's sort of what Steam is. I think Steam is an awesome platform that really allows gaming to really continue to thrive because, you know, it doesn't make it a wild wasteland of piracy. Like, there's a real organized storefront that sort of, you know, dictates how people spend money and buy games for PC. But I don't know. It's a sad future that we're transitioning to, but probably better for my wallet because the closer we get to certain like, you know, digital only future, I probably will just stop and really make those dents on my backlog like I want to. Like, I can always go back and play my N64, and I do that. Recently played through Kirby 64 and Bomberman 64, but
you don't play the Switch versions?
Oh, Switch on? No, I don't. I feel like for N64 you have to have the specific Nintendo Online membership to. Yeah, I think you have to have a specific
some
tier.
Some require the extension pass thing. Some are in the base.
N64 games require the extension.
Cool.
Like the base, you get access to like NES and SNES, but like N64, Game Boy, I believe even the Sega Genesis titles, maybe all of those are required that extended pass. So yeah, I'm good. I have my physical carts in my N64 that works, so I'll just play them that way. But speaking of Sega, another God tier transition. Sonic Central 2023 happened. That's just a Sonic streaming direct sort of thing. It just had general information. But I encourage everyone to go check out the video of Lego Eggman rapping. I had the pleasure of watching that happen live. And it was the most goofy thing I ever seen. But it was fun. And I like, you know, we just got off of talking about how toxic Atlas fans are, and technically Sega owns Atlas, and Sega fans or not Sega fans, excuse me, Sonic fans are probably 10 times worse.
Really?
But yes, really, like Sonic fans, man, man.
I think they're just so used to having L's.
But see, that's the thing, though. I feel like a lot of L's are manufactured by
Sega.
The mindset of where Sonic is at that point, rather than actually what's being produced. I feel like, you know, yes, we all crap on Sonic 06, but like, I feel like the games that came after it were not that bad. And you're seeing a resurgence of, like, obviously, you know, people on social media or YouTubers talking about, like, hey, this game's actually pretty good. Like, what's the Werehog game?
Sonic Unleashed.
Yeah, Sonic Unleashed. Like,
Werehog?
seriously, like, people enjoy Sonic Unleashed. I've never played it, so I can't speak for it. But, like, I mean, there were good Sonic titles in that period after. And, like, I feel like the Storybook series of games, like Sonic and the Black Knights and Unleashed and Secret Rings to a lesser extent, like, they got unrightfully bashed because, you know, we came off of Sonic 06, Sonic is a joke. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's just good to see good, like, you know, what's the word? Good reception. We'll say reception. Good positive energy for Sonic in this day and age, because Sonic is a fun series. Like, not every, yes, there's stinkers, like
There's
that game.
some.
What?
Oh, you didn't say some, but there's a lot. Sonic Forces was a disaster.
That's the one I was about to bring up. Sonic Forces
Holy
was
crap, that was a
garbage.
disaster.
But then we got Sonic.
They made that game in a week.
Yeah, Sonic Forces is garbage. But then we got Sonic. What's the recent one? I can't think of the name of it.
The one you
I want to
played.
say yeah. I'm trying to think. What's the name of that game? I'm just gonna Google. Excuse me. Google most recent Sonic game.
Sonic Open World
Frontiers.
Yeah.
Sonic Frontiers. Okay. Yes. We got Sonic Frontier. And it's kind of polarizing. I've seen opinions both way, but generally, like, people enjoy it. Sonic Frontiers kicks ass, man. That is an awesome Sonic game. I don't care what anybody says. They can suck it. Sonic Frontiers. I still need to edit that footage, man. It's been sitting there for like months at this point.
You still gotta do a lot of things.
Yeah, I do.
Like stream.
But that might happen tonight.
Whoa. You got your
That might
3DS
happen.
capture?
I did.
Ooh.
I've been playing around with it, so we'll see. But yeah. Anyways, that it's good to see good press for Sonic, and I like that. You know,
Rare.
yes, there's some
Sonic
small
fan
things.
W.
So let's hope that Sonic keeps getting good press, because it's sad to see, you know, Sonic be crapped on all the time. Like, he has good games. Sega makes good Sonic games. They do.
Yeah.
Like, yes, again, there's stinkers, but I like Lost Worlds. Okay, I know a lot of people don't like Lost Worlds. I liked Lost Worlds. Maybe that's because I was, again, on Wii U, and there was a drought of games at that point, but I liked Lost Worlds. I know that's random,
I
but
told you how I felt about
moving-
Sonic in a previous episode, right?
I don't know if I did, or I don't know if we talked about Sonic ever.
Really? It wasn't like a
What?
major topic, but it was just a side
Actually, we
thing.
might have, because it might have been the side note when I was gushing about Frontiers.
I was thinking about, I think it was during Frontiers, because I want Sonic to be good, but it's just so hard for Sonic to be good.
What do you look for in a Sonic? Like, what era of Sonic is like, I loved this Sonic? What happened?
I don't
Are
remember.
you an Adventures guy?
I don't remember. It's been so long since.
It's been so. I mean, do you like the adventure style? Do you like the 2D style? Do you like the experimental stuff?
Yeah, I like all of it.
You like all. So you just want the game to be good, really. That's all there is.
And not a hot broken mess.
I mean, that's fair, man.
Oh, what Sonic
Again, I
Forces,
think-
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. But again, forces happen. We're not looking back. Frontiers came out. Frontiers is awesome. Sonic Origins is pretty good. Sonic Superstars looks amazing, and reviewers and game journalists have gotten their hands on it, and they've been gushing about it. So I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see a Sonic game confidently be like, "Hey Mario, we're releasing at the same time as you." So
I mean,
I
couldn't get into Frontiers. The open world is a weird direction to take. Because
It is.
Because you just have all those rails everywhere and all the launch pads and all the traditional Sonic environment stuff in the open world just sitting out there.
I mean, I get it. Yeah, especially as you're more of an immersion guy. So, like, obviously there's just a huge cognitive dissonance of just, like, random set pieces in this open environment with really no other living
And it doesn't make
beings
sense
besides
for-
Korok seeds.
Yeah. Whoa, wait, what?
You know, the little...
talking about Sonic.
No, I made that joke on purpose. I forget their name, but, like, the little creatures that you
Yeah,
would
the
collect in order
Koroks.
to,
But they're hidden.
Exactly.
It's not like the world has a giant loop-the-loop and rails only a certain blue hedgehog can use and no one else.
I mean, once they come into the game, Tails, Amy, Knuckles,
I mean,
They'll all be able to use
you
them.
gotta think like, why is it there if no one else can use them?
I mean, from that standpoint, yes, I understand. But again, I think it's a step in the
Oh,
right
look at
direction
this
for 3D Sonic.
hedgehog shaped handprint in the wall. You gotta put your hand in.
Can we really give Sonic that much crap for things that other games do just as on the nose? Like, yeah, I get it. And again, like I get it. Like the set pieces just being in this thing, it kind of makes it feel like a beta game rather than like an actual like Sonic world. I do agree with that. But I think if if that's not a big part for you and you just look at the gameplay, I think the gameplay is really great. And it's something that can be built off of. There was good positive press for the game, which means the Sonic team can look at this and then actually make a real immersive world where it's not just a bunch of set pieces in an open world. It's like an actual, we're getting closer to, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, where, is an actual lived in world that you can.
I don't know if the Sonic environment is compatible with that or able to reach that kind of immersion.
I don't know if it needs to be extremely huge, and that's the thing too with Frontiers. I feel like it was as open world as say Arceus, right? So it's
Arceus
not like
is not a good open world game to compare to.
But that's what I'm saying. Like it's open world, but only like, and you have biomes. It has
an open world, but it's not an open world game.
Yeah, and that's the same thing I feel about Frontiers. And I do feel like Sonic works in that way because I mean I think about it like, again, if you think about adventures, right? Like these were like these really colorful, like fully fleshed out world. Obviously they're set pieces for like levels, but like you could totally take like what you see in Adventures 2, Heroes, and like translate that to sort of an not open world, but like, let's say biomes. I think that's the best way to describe it. You can make biomes out of that and sort of interact in that. Hell, if you wanted to revisit that Italian place in 06, man, like, again, that's another example. Like, obviously that game is 06, but that's a way of going about it, I think it can work. It doesn't need to go too far into the open world. I do agree with that, but I think you can make it work.
Sonic Riders Zero Gravity.
I didn't really play those. Like, I don't know. I feel like I never sat down to figure out the mechanics. I did play. I don't think I played Zero Gravity, but I played the original.
Gravity kind of slaps.
I've watched a few of the. There's a very, very, very niche community for competitive play of Zero Gravity. It's pretty fun to watch them play those games.
It can be competitive.
No, well, I mean, they modded a bit and stuff to get it to a more like balanced state, but it's pretty cool. I'd have to find it again. It's been a while since I've watched Twitch, really, but
well, if you want to play it, I got my copy.
Interesting. I mean, I might try it out again. The last time I played it was with a good friend of mine. We played it locally. Again, that was the original. I think I have a video on the channel, but I didn't know what I was doing, so it didn't last long.
I think Zero Gravity is better than the first one.
That's what I heard. It improved on a lot of things. And then they took a massive step back with the Xbox one. But we won't talk about that one.
That was mostly a Kinect gimmick.
I know, but it's funny to think they did that. I mean, it could have been cool. It could have been cool if it spent more than like 1 month in development, But anyways, Splatoon 3. This was a funny story. I just wanted to talk about this. So a fan bought enough shares so that he could be at one of the shareholders meeting, just so he could tell the president directly that the female characters and Splatoon get disproportionate attention to the male characters. I just thought this was the most hilarious thing. Apparently, people were trying to tell this individual to be quiet, to stop, but the person just insisted on giving their point, and they just kept going. And then apparently, Furukawa said, "Thanks for your opinion," which is hilarious. The things that people do for the stuff that they love, we get amazing fan works, we get awesome mods, people go on to create their own things based off of, the interpretations and things that they learn from the series that they love. And then we have people like this who just complain and say, hey, I need my male Splatoon creature to pose more and better.
Asian fans are crazy.
I think that's an understatement. I think that's an understatement. I like how the first comment on the article from Nintendo Life is like, wow, that's a whole new level of crazy. It's like, how do you read this story and not just think, man, what is going on?
Well, speaking of Splatoon, there's Square Enix. Square Enix has put out their Splatoon clone.
Man, we ain't gonna talk about that. that game.
Well, announced, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. Splatoon has nothing to worry about. I'm just like, really, that's so on the nose. Like, at least the other one, I can't think of that game's name, but it's on Nintendo's console only. It's Ninjala. You know, at least Ninjala has a unique perspective on being like, it's not even really a Splatoon clone, but it's definitely trying to hit that same demographic and audience.
Goofy, yeah.
But the Square Enix one, that's the real goofy. I was like, I saw that, I was like, are y'all serious? I don't know, maybe it'll be fun, but definitely a pass from me. But all right, I didn't think we were actually gonna do all of the lists, but damn it, we did all of the lists. So
did we?
Yeah.
No, we missed a few.
For the most part, very few. Let's talk about the Sony Project Q real quick, and then head towards the wrap.
Garbage. E-waste. $300.
So I saw it when they had their thing. I didn't actually read the article. I was like, huh. So they're doing a Switch. Then we talked about it, and then you told me it's pretty much just the Wii U. Literally just a screen with a controller where you can stream your games to that portable screen for $300. And it's local network remote only. So, which this is a concept that they did with the Vita and the PS3, but now it's even worse. And actually, from what I've heard, and this is years ago, but the remote play with Vita to PS3 was actually pretty good. So I mean, I could see merit for it, and people did use it, but
the
$300
Vita could play games.
Exactly, right? It was its own machine. This is literally just a screen controller.
You can buy a tablet and a controller and get the same thing.
You can buy a Wii U, at least if it was still in production, cheaper than this controller that does the exact same function as the controller.
You'd be playing with the Wii U. I mean, if
you
stream the PS5 to the tablet and use a controller, it would work.
We will not accept any Wii U slander on this podcast.
I'm
whatsoever.
slandering.
No slander.
No slander. My middle slander is my middle name.
Your name's no. I don't know what your middle name is, but it's not slander. But yeah, I just thought that was pretty interesting. And it's sitting on PlayStation's YouTube with current, would you say 60 to 40 dislike to like ratio, I guess. So that's fun. But yeah, never slander the Wii U again when obviously other companies just copy what Nintendo do, and they do it worse. We literally just talked about Sonic, whatever the Connect free riders was. Let's move on. So here are our last things we're going to talk about, and these are just some funny things to discuss. And really, all of these are yours. So go ahead, lead us.
Japanese police have arrested some people related to some sushi terrorists, mostly in the conveyor belt sushi or kaiten sushi restaurants, where they're just just making a mess of the place, like drinking directly from bottles of soy sauce, putting his mouth directly on utensils you're not supposed to, including the soy sauce bottles, grabbing sushi off the plates without taking the plates off, which is, what is that, fraud? Since you're supposed to pay by the number of plates you have on your table.
Yeah.
So it seems they've caught them.
Goodness. Well, at least with this particular story, it just reminds me, I guess this was maybe 4 months ago when we spoke about the Ghibli park and the guys that were posing lewd pictures with some of the female protagonists. Right.
I remember.
Yeah. But, I guess with the Ghibli folks and with this, plates in revolving sushi restaurants, justice eventually comes around. All right, now you can say the next one. I just had to say that. That is such an awesome... I had to steal it, man.
No. Next. Hideaki Anno doxed. He went to a gas station. The attendant took a picture of his receipt, which had his last 4 digits of credit card number, his point balance for that gas station chain. What else was on there? Signature. Yeah, that's it.
That's an interesting connection there. First of all, so sorry for him, but you got to be careful. Also, I need to get the manga for it, but apparently
it can't be his fault. The dude took a picture of his receipt.
I know, but gotta be careful regardless. You don't know who's out here in these streets, especially the streets of Japan, because as we see, people in Japan are wilding. But interesting thing about Hideaki,
he was just a fan.
Apparently,
it wasn't on purpose.
I know, but apparently he's a pretty interesting fellow. There's a manga about him.
He frequents gas stations like normal person. Apparently,
his equivalent is Keanu Reeves, if you understand that reference. No. What I wanted to target was he is co-producer and co-editor for the Shin Ultraman movie. Again, because Tsuburaya does what Toei
and co-editor of a lot of things.
Yes, but obviously he loves tokusatsu, as do I. So he's a fellow man of culture. Shin Ultraman should be here soon. I believe it's got a July release for Blu-ray. I know it had some showings. Obviously, we weren't gonna get Shin Ultraman where we stay, but super excited. Anyways, I just wanted to make that connection and that shout out. Go watch Shin Ultraman because.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say because the other I guess new tokusatsu project that he did, Shin Godzilla, awesome. So I'm super excited to watch Shin Ultraman. Anyways, go ahead.
No, it's something I remembered recently that he was the voice actor for the main character Hiro in the Wind Rises Ghibli film.
Yep, I knew that too. That's one of those fun facts I remember, but I forget.
Yes. That's exactly what that is.
He's a cool dude. I like his work. I like what he's done in the industry and continues to do. Again, go watch Shin Ultraman. Support Tsuburaya because they support you. Any closing statements?
Oh yes, I did. I know I closed it. Kare ga stronger, nara ore ga strongest.
天がよ、地がよ、人がよ。あ、カブトだ。ってあれ？天だ。
カブトの他にもカブトムシのライダーがいたのね。
仮面ライダーストロンガーだ。彼がストロンガーなら俺はストロンゲストというところか。